me on the Tarot Machine. This is your monthly love reading for the month of June 2017, and this will be for the sign of Aquarius. So let me go ahead and give um, an overall message for you that you'll be working with for the month. You got the card of attitude. So what it's saying to me for singles, maybe when it comes to attitude, maybe you have to change your attitude about the how you find relationships, or somebody you may meet may have a bad attitude, or I'm hearing talking crazy, or they have a nasty disposition about themselves, or you want to make sure that when it comes to you and how you present yourself to others when you're trying to get on a one-on-one relationship, that you're not coming off like too smug or arrogant, or coming off nasty, or coming off like a straight, I don't want to use this term, but like a straight bitch, or you up in the air, or for you falutin', or you coming off just real, you're not presenting yourself in the best light that you should present yourself. So maybe it may take a little bit of you changing your attitude towards the way you're trying to find relationships, or what kind of people you're trying to bring in on a one-on-one relationship. And for somebody that's already coupled up, when it comes to attitude, it's saying to me, I'm getting the feeling that you have to have a certain demeanor when it comes to you and your companion, or your companion have to have a certain demeanor about themselves. And I'm hearing the word demeanor, that it is basically that you representing each other in the best light, no matter if it's in private or it is in public. It seems like, you know it's like grabbing something and holding it down, that the person ain't going over the board or presenting themselves to make you look bad by their presentation of themselves. I'm hearing something weird when it comes to the couples about the attitude thing. The attitude, you just want to make sure, if you're going out with people or being seen together and you're introducing your companion with somebody, that they're presenting themselves in a certain way to make you look good, or try to make you look at your best, or you may have to kind of change your demeanor when you're meeting like your companion's friends or family, or and I think that's a rare case. I think that's for somebody who just got married, that you're meeting these new family members or new friends, and some of them is rubbing you the wrong way, and you ready to kind of, I ain't gonna say go off on them, but you ready to kind of put your foot down on them, and then they're looking at you at a certain kind of way, and it's like, ew, why he's with that person, and it's starting this kind of weird thing up. But I'm catching that on a rare aspect. I'm catching it, I'm feeling it, but it's only for a rare case. So let me go ahead and get the cards and see what this attitude, how's it playing out for the month when it comes to singles and people that are already coupled up. Okay, you got the Hermit in the middle of the reading. So the Hermit is usually reflecting, so it's definitely a thing of changing an attitude. Justice, okay, boop. The King of Chalices, Seven of chalices. Ooh, okay. And the high priestess. Okay. In reverse. Okay, in the middle of the ring, you got the hermit. The hermit, if you're single, it's saying that you could meet a person that is reserved, or they more into, I ain't gonna say into themselves, they're just a quiet body. They're not really a person that kind of goes out and be um um all over the board, or they want to be center of attention. They kind of a person that will reserve themselves and kind of stay in a corner, or they kind of a loner. When you meet this person, they may be thinking this about you, or you thinking this about them, about this other person. That But there's more of a loner. They more into trying to be more into themselves, and just always analyzing how they can perfect themselves. And you could be going through this period. Maybe you have to kind of go within yourself to see why you can't get the relationship that you want, because maybe one of the aspects is your, maybe your attitude. Maybe you have to kind of readjust your attitude. And you probably thinking, oh, why I can't get in a relationship, is saying go in yourself. And maybe one of the aspects of it is your attitude towards of how you go for a relationship, or the person that you're picking. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that you and your companion may spend more time to yourselves, that you will go and be kind of isolated with each other. You're not going to be more into the, what is the crowd thing, or you trying to go out all the time. In the month of June, you're going to say, well, it may be time for us to step back. You may did that from the prior month, or you probably deciding that the relationship needs some more isolation time to kind of um, be built more better. Or maybe your companion or you figure that you're just acting a fool for the month, and they just don't want to go out. They don't want to go out. You having a feeling that you giving them the feeling like, oh, I don't want to go out with him or her at this time, because they're maybe acting like they on something, or they being more nasty or cruel, or they displaying themselves, that I don't want to take that person out in the public. Kind of, it's kind of a, you getting a weird reading. Aquarius is getting a weird reading, and we've been having weird readings for the last couple months on Aquarius. you know what you have underneath you is judgment. If you're single, what it's saying is that you could be doing this to a person, or a person could be doing this to you. That um you're looking at a person, and you being like judgmental on them. You're trying to give that person a fair shake, and usually in the reverse, judgment is you're not giving that person no kind of fair shake. It's either black or white, gray, or they is either what they're talking or they're walking, kind of. But in the upright, it's saying all the candidates that you're meeting, you're trying to give them a fair shake without probably um, um, judging them off the bat. You letting them kind of state their case of why they want to be in a relationship, or you're trying to hear what they have to make a logical decision of if you want to be in a relationship with them. You could be doing this to somebody, or somebody can be doing this to you. As you already coupled up, if it's something going on and your companion is doing um displaying themselves in a certain way that you're not feeling it, what you saying is, you're with the judgment is saying that you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, and you're trying to judge the aspect of why this is coming into your relationship, and why is it ruining your bond. But you're trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. You're giving it the benefit of the doubt based on why it came up, why the timing of it came up, and what was the reason it came up. You trying to weigh out why you or your companion is acting a certain way that you're not feeling it, or they displaying themselves in a certain way that you've never seen before, but you're trying to cut them some grace. That's what it's that's the word I want to say. You giving them the benefit of doubt and cutting the grace based on the situation that is presented to you. And that's another thing you could be going through in June, is that your companion could be doing something, or you can be doing something that is not helping the relationship, and you're cutting some kind of benefit or a doubt, or you're trying to weigh the situation for what is worth at the time that is coming up. And you be going through that in June. What you have in the past is the King of Chalices in reverse. So the King of Chalices in reverse is, if you're single, you maybe somebody thinking this about you, or you had met somebody in the past that was, they was doing way too much emotionally. You wasn't feeling, you was trying to give this person a benefit of the doubt, but they was just emotionally, they just not doing too much. You may be thinking about this person, and then you keep thinking about the person and reanalyzing the information. Maybe this person is going to come back up in June and reappear again, but you're going to try to give the person a benefit of the doubt. But this one person that you're dealing with is just way too emotional. I mean, they're too emotional. They in their feelings way too hard. Everything hits them. If you say something they think is really directly at them, and they could be thinking this about you, or you thinking this about them, that they are too emotional. They just all over the board. They too much in their feelings. That's all they care about. They kind of a superficial person, because if it doesn't have nothing to benefit them emotionally, or if you're not catering to their ego, they're not trying to hear it, basically. And you may have dealt with a person like that in the past. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that either you or your companion in the prior past was acting too emotional, and maybe that is another thing you don't want to go out, because they're too much in their emotions. And if you take them out in public, everything that surrounds them, they're gonna have an emotional feeling about it, or they're gonna be too much in their feelings if you try to introduce them to the friends. you know Another thing about the emotional card, that like the King of Cups, King of Chalices, or the King of Cups in reverse. When you meet a person that's like that, and you take them in the public, and this is just my way of seeing stuff, or I seen this done, that when you take them out, they become a boohoo person, and then they put their business out there, and then they want other people outside of the relationship to kind of cater their ego. It is kind of give them reassurance when you take them out in the public. And this may another reason that you don't want to probably go out or herm up with them, because if you take them out, they kind of putting all your business out on Front Street and looking for some kind of emotional thing, or some kind of lick my emotion kind of thing. And you don't want to do that, because it's making you look bad, or it'll make you look like a certain way to your friends or your family or something. It's just a weird thing. But they, in the past, they've been too emotional. You or your companion was way too much in their feelings and stuff. What you have crowning you is the Seven of Cups. And basically, the Seven of Cups is, if you're single, what it's saying is that you're trying to hone down, instead of you having a lot of options of candidates of people that you wanted to pick from, you're trying to home down on a specific person. You may have a specific person in mind, and you want that person. You don't want other people involved when you're trying to find this person. You want to know if that person doesn't have a whole mess of people that's chasing after them. You want that person to be kind of isolated by themselves, and kind of a person that is not a player, or they're not bouncing around from people to people to people. You looking for a person that is basically good to go by themselves, and you rather get into a relationship with a person that's on that, they're not into having 100 million people in their life. And that's what you is probably looking for, or somebody sees that in you, that you as a person, that you don't set yourself up with a whole mess of people, then pick whatever one is there or good at the time without knowing that person. So that's one of those aspects that could be coming up. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that when it comes to you making a bond tighter in your relationship, you're not going to try to throw a whole mess of stuff into the relationship. You're going to handle things one at a time. You're going to be kind of systematic about it. If you throw a lot of stuff at your companion, that we could do this and you could do this and we could do this and you kind of will confuse them. You kind of just saying, well, I will introduce one thing at a time and see how that goes, without throwing so many options out there and confusing your companion on which way that you want this stuff to be introduced into your relationship to be a better bond. It's just saying that if you have any ideas of how to make your emotional bond with your companion tighter, you're just gonna feed, you're gonna kind of spoon feed it to them one thing at a time, not just give them a whole stuff on the board to let them pick, and then you run from there to build something in your relationship. Either you're gonna do this to your companion, or your companion is gonna do this to you. What you have in the last card you have is the High Priestess in reverse. So either it's showing me that for singles, the people that you're meeting, you're not using your intuition on them. You're not reading the person for what they worth. It seems like you're meeting people and you would just take a chance on them without digging deeper into what that person is. Now, you can have somebody coming at you that just want to be in a relationship, and they're not trying to find out any kind of real personal information, or where you've been in a relationship, or what your ideas of a relationship is. They're just grabbing you, and they're not using their intuition on how to um get a sense for you. And you could be thrown off too, because you could be doing this when you go after somebody, that you're not using your intuition to read the person you're getting into. You're not using your internal compass to say, okay, is this person really good for me or not good for me? And you could be doing that, and maybe one of the people that you're going to pick up is going to have a nasty attitude. They're just going to have a bad attitude. The attitude is just going to be there. You get into you grabbing that person on face value. Basically, you're not digging deeper into that person that you want to have a one-on-one relationship with. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that certain things in your that's happening in your relationship is just saying that either you or your companion, or the both of you, are not looking deeper into what's really going on in the relationship, and you're not using your own internal sense to figure out what's going on. If stuff is going wrong in your relationship, it seems like you're letting it ride out, or you letting stuff just keep going. And if it has something to do to your companion's attitude, you're not searching deep enough to figure out why that attitude all of a sudden came up now in your relationship. Even if you've been with that person for so many years, it's showing that you're not digging deeper to figure out why all of a sudden this weird attitude is coming out and affecting our relationship. You're just letting it ride and giving the person the benefit of the doubt and stuff, and you're not digging deeper to figure out the source of where this is coming from and trying to correct it to help build the relationship better. So let me go ahead and get some clarifiers, because see what it is. Let me see what this King of Chalices, why this over emotional person came up. You got the justice and the upright. So what it's saying is justice is law and is basically law and order. This person that you was meeting, this is for singles. They feel what they was doing was just. That's just part of their personality, and they was feeling like they had the right to have all this emotion, and they was trying to display that to you. Like, they had the right to feel like that or come at you in a certain way of over emotionally. And more to me, it seemed like it was in their head from something in the past, that even if they was over emotional, they was trying to explain why they was like that with you, or you was trying to explain like that in the past with somebody of why you are over emotional. You was trying to justify the situation, or they was trying to justify their emotions, even though you may have got a feeling that it was doing too much, and they was trying to clarify it or trying to excuse it, basically. And that's the same with couples. Your companion could be trying to explain why they was being over emotional and trying to find justification for their attitude when you was probably not feeling it, or you was probably not thinking in the sense that, okay, they over emotional, and they keep trying to clear up why they was over emotional. And maybe at the time they was doing it and trying to clarify it, you still came to the conclusion that it was doing too much because you had been in a relationship for so long, and it shouldn't have happened, or it shouldn't have came up the way it did. Being selfish. Three of Pentacles is usually a card that you will work with a person, and that's why I said they was over emotional, trying to justify the situation of why they was being emotional, and being selfish, being pretty much into themselves, or they was really into themselves. They didn't really want to see the other person's side of the coin, and this is for singles and coupled up. They was pretty much figuring that's the way it is. That's how I am. Either you take it or what. I'm over emotional. I'm over emotional because of A, B, and C, the past relationship, this, that, and the other. And they was being selfish. They was emotional and selfish and trying to justify the situation. If you already coupled up, it was just saying that your companion was really in their feelings, and they really was keeping, they, even though they was presenting it out to you in a relationship, they was being real selfish about their attitude. They was being emotional and selfish, and they was justifying why this was entering the relationship at this time, and they was basically being a baby. Basically, if you already coupled up, it was them being a baby, being selfish, being over emotional, and being a baby. Let's see what this seven of chalices was. Yeah, the seven of chalices. You got the four of wands in reverse. Four of wands is a card. Usually in the upright, it will say that it's a good foundation or it's a solid foundation. It could also mean marriage or whatever. But it's saying to me, if you're single, with you not trying to throw all the options out, you still in a quest of trying to build a solid relationship for yourself. And the people that you may have had dealt with the past, especially this baby one or this one that's over emotional and selfish, it wasn't a candidate for you. It was not, that person was not the one, because the person was too emotional and not thinking about anything grounded and tangible, and making excuses of why their stuff wasn't two together and why they was emotional too much. And you probably figured out that's not the one for you, because you was trying to give that person a fair shake, but it wasn't, you couldn't build nothing with that person. So you may have decided to say, well, I'm not going to throw myself out there with a whole mess of options. I'm going to home it down and get one person at a time and try to figure out that one person. But your internal compass is kind of still off when you dealing with people. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that your companion's emotions was somewhat affecting this baby attitude or being selfish, and being over emotional was causing a disruption in your foundation as a couple, because usually you, like I said, it's usually a solid foundation, but it was causing a disruption. And then now your companion is deciding, man, to let's rebuild this. I'm gonna do it one thing at a time. Maybe before they tried to throw out a whole mess of stuff and none of it acted right, it threw the person into this baby crying of, oh, why didn't it work, and blah 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 blah. And you probably kind of draw back and say, now I'm gonna have to give it to you one thing at a time to see where this is gonna go, to try to build our relationship better, or start from ground zero and try to rekindle some stuff. Oh yeah, definitely. Seven of Pentacles in the upright. Seven of Pentacles is set. A lot of people say it's setting up something and seeing where it is going, what it is, and it's saying that it's options of the past that are more tangible. If you're single, it's saying that you're definitely looking for somebody that is more grounded, more, have more things out there to offer you to build a better foundation for a relationship. That means you looking for singles. It means you're looking for somebody that got their own job, got their own car, got their own finances, got their stuff two together. They don't have to ask for nothing. They have enough emotional security for themselves to not come with this baby attitude or come over emotional, and they're kind of a giving person. That's what you're looking for. So you're trying to find a candidate that have all those qualities in themselves, because you feel that will build, that's a more solid foundation for you to build on. Now, if you already coupled up, it's saying that your companion could be having more stuff physically. They're trying to set up to make the relationship better, because your foundation is kind of shaky. So they're setting up certain things that are more solid, not more emotional, but more grounded in some kind of what a reality of a relationship is, something that's more solid. And they're trying to set up these solid things to rebuild your relationship. Now we're gonna get to this high priestess and see why you're off. Okay, Eight of Wands. Like I said before, somebody is not using their intuition. Eight of Wands is moving too fast. So if you're single, it's saying that all these candidates that are coming to you, you're moving too fast on them. You just want to get, like I said, getting with a person for face value. You're trying to get a person with face value, and you're not checking inside of the person, and you're rushing up on this person, or this person is rushing up on you, that's not trying to um 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 kind of figure you out. They just rushing up on you, and maybe they rushing up on you because they know they have a hard time getting in a relationship because they got a bad attitude. They got a bad attitude. Once somebody get with them, they figure it out that they have a bad attitude. If you really sat back and thought about it, you'd be like, this dude's person, or her personality or her attitude is a hot mess. I'm not gonna deal with that. So who, you're rushing up on somebody, or they rushing up on you, and they're not thinking about it. They're not thinking about anything that's ground basis, or they ain't thinking anything to build a relationship. They're just rushing up to be in a relationship. If you're already coupled up, what it's saying is maybe that you didn't, in the past, you may have threw that person so many options, and you threw the options to help build a relationship. You probably threw them to them too fast. They couldn't analyze it. It threw their whole sense of trying to kind of dissect what can work and not work for them, and you just threw the options to them too fast, and maybe that causes you to say, "Wait, I rushed up on them too fast with too much stuff," and let me go and slow this down, give it to them one at a time to rebuild your relationship. So it's just saying maybe your companion during the month of June is probably rushing to do a lot of stuff to build your foundation too. They rushing in with a lot of either information or rushing in with a lot of different ideas. But some of the ideas that they probably would rush in, some of them, most of them, going to be ground, what they call is earth based, that they're going to be solid moves. But none of them is probably going to be ready to put into effect, because seven of coins is stuff that's been sitting, and it takes time for that stuff to work out or play itself out. See what the last card you have. You got the good card. So you got the 10 of Pentacles. So it's definitely, if you're single, you're definitely looking for somebody in this reading, because you got one, two, three pentacles in the reading. It's definitely saying if you're single, you're looking for somebody that is, I ain't gonna say financially stable. You're looking for somebody that is very confident and got their own financially, and they are a grounded person. Or somebody may see this about you, that you're more grounded and you got all your ducks in a row, and they don't have to worry about you so self efficient with your own environment, that they don't really have to worry about you coming back asking for something, or you kind of being a financial burden on them if they get in a relationship. Or it's no it's nothing financially will ruin the relationship. So they can be thinking this about you, or you thinking this about you. Now, if you already coupled up, what it's saying is, the most of the things that your companion is going to bring in to help the relationship be better, is saying that some of them is going to be some winning ideas. They're going to be winning ideas, and it could put your foundation back in order. Maybe the whole thing with couples is, when your companion is rushing in with all these ideas, or rushing in with this stuff that you want to do, maybe you will have to change your attitude about them and see the other side of the coin, and see what the benefit of it is. And if you see the other side of it, and kind of change your attitude and not just shrug it off when your companion brings it to you, it could lead to something more positive and more solid in your relationship. So I hope you like this reading. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Go ahead and leave your comments at the bottom. You can thumb the video up or down, and I'll talk to you later.